Hello everybody, I just saw a fantastic exhibition at the Textile Museum of Canada. Always in Fashion, curated by Amber-Dawn Bear Robe, frames the exhibition as an exploration of Indigenous design languages across the territories now called Canada and the United States, emphasizing designers who reclaim cultural narratives, innovate through ancestral techniques, and challenge colonial frameworks within fashion. What makes the exhibition especially compelling, however, is that its political force never arrives at the expense of style, glamour, or sartorial pleasures. The garments are polemical, certainly, but they are also ravishing. So, the installation dynamics vividly illustrate this duality. Rows of mannequins stand on mirrored plinths. Their covered faces reflect the museum gaze. Jontay Kahm's works create an immediate drama of surface and volume. A vivid crimson dress fabricated from pieced ribbon work drapes in liquid folds. Meanwhile, a line of elegant tailored suits by Leslie Hampton incorporates West Coast First Nations iconography. Always in Fashion allows the garments to operate across runway spectacle, material memory, protest, gender performance, land-based knowledge, and couture experimentation. The didactics organize the exhibition through 4 sartorial narratives. First is Runway, Lineages in Motion. Second is Land, Body, and Dress. Third is Politics of Style. And fourth is Stories Worn Forward. This structure succeeds spectacularly because it does not reduce the garments to a single theme. Instead, it allows meanings to move, overlap, and sometimes remain deliberately withheld. Within the section Land, Body, and Dress, clothing is described as an extension of ecology, memory, and place. The garments displayed here give this idea material form. One ensemble by Rebecca Baker-Grenier, Kanayu, presents a skirt patterned with red-orange fish against a blue grid, transforming the lower body into a mobile map of water, harvest, and repetition. Another dress, layered with green botanical forms, makes the wearer appear almost forested. The body becomes a moving landscape. The political statements of the exhibition are among its most memorable elements. Drag queen Jaylene Tyme's Every Child Matters dress, which I was completely blown away by when she originally wore it on Canada's Drag Race, appears as an orange and black monarch butterfly form, its train unfurling like a wing or memorial banner. Its visual beauty, however, is inseparable from its commemorative and activist charge. The beautifully embroidered motifs on the dress by Malmas, for me, evoke the Chilkat blankets I researched for my book, Canadian Fashion Economies. And the exquisite beadwork was reminiscent of Métis artistry as described by Sherry Farrell-Rousset. However, the Every Child Matters logo, designed by Andy Everson, honors residential school survivors. The result is a ceremonial high-drag couture, which is also a potent public statement. The same is true of the garments in the Politics of Style section. Brian Jungen's Walk This Way Echo from 2016, a piece made from Nike Air Jordan sneakers, sharpens the exhibition's dialogue with global fashion systems. The object transforms branded footwear into a sculptural garment-like form with red laces dangling like fringe and sneaker components reassembled into a chest, shoulder, or mask-like structure. It is a brilliant reversal. The commodity is cut open, reworked, and remade strange. One of the exhibition's great strengths for me is that it does not ask the viewer to choose between politics and fashion. In fact, the garments argue that this type of division is false. Kahm's beaded blue body piece is as technically seductive as anything in a couture context. Yet the work's power also lies in how that seduction is bound to the Indigenous material intelligence and embodied knowledge. Another strength of Always in Fashion is its refusal to treat Indigenous fashion as a single aesthetic category. The exhibition does not present indigeneity as a stylistic motif, source of inspiration, or marketable identity label. Instead, it foregrounds a field of distinct designer-specific practices shaped by particular histories, territories, and forms of cultural knowledge. If the exhibition has a limitation, it lies not in the strength of the garments themselves, but in the difficulty of making such a vast field legible within a single museum format. Yet this challenge is also very productive. The breadth of material on display underscores the vastness of Indigenous fashion. It also suggests the need for further exhibitions that expand the conversation beyond North America, perhaps through dialogue with Indigenous designers from Australia, Aotearoa, New Zealand, the Pacific, Latin America, Asia, and other global contexts. Always in Fashion is exhibited alongside another show called Made by Many, 50 Years of the Textile Museum of Canada, an anniversary exhibition reflecting on the institution's evolving exhibitions, collections, communities, and curatorial priorities. The Textile Museum has had a lot of great shows, and I love taking the students there. Some of the favorites that I've had were the Secret Codes, African Nova Scotian Quilts, Beyond the Vanishing Maya, Voices of a Land in Resistance, and the Sublime Retrospective, A Spider's Logic, which showed the work of the then 35-year career of Chinese-Canadian textile artist Kai Chan, and that was in 2011. Seen in this wider context, Always in Fashion does not present Indigenous fashion as a neatly bounded genre or singular aesthetic, but as a field of designer-specific practices. As a result, political statements are strong throughout, but the exhibition never treats politics as separate from the skilled hand of the designer, and the quality of the looks on display were a reflection of the skill and originality of all the designers represented. Go see this show. It is at the Textile Museum. It is on until January 3rd, 2027, and it is in Toronto, Canada. I am Dr. Mark Joseph O'Connell.